Despite the failure of the poll tax ordinance and measures to increase indirect taxation, the growth of British power and jurisdiction in the southern states, especially in the area of the west of Volta, would have continued in the 1860s had it done in the 1850s, but for a series of events begun the resumption of hostilities between the Ashanti and the British in 1863. There had been a welcome period of peace since Maclean's administration. The renewed hostilities are attributed by many historians to the refusal by the British to hand over two Ashanti figures. But this was more than the occasion for rather than the cause of war. It is rather significant that the Ashanti moved first against the Asin and the Akim Katuku in 1863. As long as the Ashanti refused to reconcile themselves to the loss of the southern states, and in particular to Asin, there could be no real lasting peace between them on the one hand and the British and their allies on the other. Nor did the British and their allies after Maclean develop any genuine respect for Ashanti, nor feel really secure as long as Ashanti power was left unchecked. The reason given by Pine, the governor, for renewed attacks in 1863 are almost identical to those given by MacArthur in the 1820s. Pine wrote, "It is with deepest regret that I find myself involved, in spite of all my precautions, in a serious and I fear lingering war. But such being the case, I will not conceal from your grace the earnest desire that I entertain that a final blow shall be struck at Ashanti power, and the question set at rest forever, as to whether an arbitrary, cruel, and sanguinary monarch shall forever be permitted to insult the British flag and outrage the laws of my civilization." Only Maclean's tact and the pacifism of Osi Kwaku Dua I had postponed this inevitable clash. What then was the extradition episode that Pine took as the reason for the renewal of hostilities? In 1862, two Ashanti, one a slave, the other an old man named Kwesi Ginin, fled to the coast and sought refuge with the British. The slave first claimed that he had been maltreated by his master and that the old man had escaped because he failed to hand over the Ashantian a piece of gold rock that he had found, as he should have done in accordance with Ashanti law and custom. In December 1862, the governor rejected the Ashantian request for the extradition of the two figures and gave as his reason that the old man solemnly denied his charge.